Hey guys, welcome back to another tutorial by SToby. In this tutorial, I'm going to be showing you how to make an automated canola setup, because Actually Additions has a full canola system and it's difficult to automate, so I want to show you how to automate it. Now, I in this I have only used Actually Addition things, which means that this is not the most efficient design there is. For example, I'm burning the excess canola. Normally, I turn this canola that's coming out here into canola seeds, but as Actually Additions doesn't have an automatic crafter, I have to just burn it. So, yeah, that's what's happening here. All this canola is just getting burnt. So yeah, it's not the most 100% efficient design, but it's actually pretty good, and it can power. It's producing a lot of power, and I could probably put more oil generators just going off into the distance along here. Alright, and also before we start going through how the whole system works, I need to show you how these item relays work, because they don't work how I initially thought they did. So normally how these lasers work is you will link them all up and then you can set them to, and they will just transport all this. So like these power ones will just transport the power all the way around, and then you can see it's linked up to the oil generators, so it takes power and powers everything with it. But these item lasers work differently. So what you need is this one. So firstly, so let's say here we've got the farmer, which is farming the crops. And how this is working is it's taking the canola. You can see I've got an advanced one which allows me to filter out the canola. And then this is getting transported to these. But to have these output, you can't put them directly on the side of it. You have to have these hopping item interfaces. Because otherwise, and what these mean is that it goes, okay, so basically what's happening here is this is going, okay, so there's canola here, and then it registers, it goes, okay, there's 3 canola here. And now these hoppers go, okay, well if there's 3 canola there, and they're linked to it, they'll then say, okay, inside of me, inside of all of these, they'll say, okay, we have 3 canola inside of ourselves, which is a really odd system. And then it goes, okay, as I'm a hopper, I can then take that 3 canola and transport it into here, which is how these get stocked. It's a really odd system. It's probably better explained in the manual, but that's how these item lasers work. So how the canola system works is firstly here we've got the farm. So this is just a standard canola farm. Um, Apparently this middle one's not being watered. I thought it was, but apparently it's not. So we know who was right there. Um, so we've got the greenhouse glass on top from Actually Additions. This just speeds up the amount of canola we get. And then you can use this farmer. Now this farmer is excellent. You have to till the ground, but this will replant the canola and will automatically harvest it. It's not particularly fast, which is why that you can see it's really not that fast. But it works, and it's Actually Additions, so I have to use it. Because I'm only using Actually Additions, because I'm trying to make this so it's just universal. If you've got Actually Additions, you can make this setup. So next, the canola is put over here, into this thing here, where it is split into loads of different canola presses. You could only use one. I used multiple just because there was so much canola, I had to actually end up burning the excess, as I said earlier. So it transports the canola into all of these, and then the excess is burnt, but you could turn this excess canola into canola seeds, but using an autocrafter, but Actually Additions doesn't have an autocrafter, so I'm not doing that. So the canola seeds, which is here, then need to go into this little thing here, which is this one's set to redstone mode deactivation, this one's set to redstone mode pulse. You can hold a redstone torch to change that. So what this means is the canola seed will enter here. This thing will drop a canola seed. This thing will then laser the canola seed, turning it into a crystallized canola seed, which is then picked up by this range collector. This range collector does need to be at a distance because I don't want it picking up crystallized canola from elsewhere over here, where, for example, in this thing here, which I'll go through later. And this just makes the crystallized canola, which I'm storing here. Now, note, it's got the laser relay. So note on this end, it's just registering the inventory, and then on this end, it's putting it in here. Now, it then goes into here, which is full of crystallized canola. And what we've got here is we've got a normal redstone circuit. So this just continually powers it. But this gives a comparator output, and then if you put this one on subtract, what this will mean, you need to have the redstone on top as well. What this will, and this one's on pulse, this one's on deactivation, and this one's on deactivation. So what will happen is this thing will tell this how much oil is in here, and then when there is less than an amount of oil, it will, so let's say this one's power 14, this is power 15, so what it does is this one subtracts 15 from 14, and releases a power of 1, which isn't enough to go up to there, so it doesn't power this. But when the amount of crystallized oil falls, this will then drop to 13, which means that this goes round, this is 15, this is 13, which means it's 2. So this powers and this powers, which means that it will drop a single piece of crystallized canola, which will then go into the canola oil, turn it into crystallized canola oil, which will then be picked up by the fluid collector, taking this back up to 14. It's just a small little system, which means that you're not wasting your crystallized canola seeds. This is then transported over to an identical system over here. This one's identical, apart from in here we now have these empowered. Now, this is where I'd use the excess canola to make canola seeds, which then need to be transported over here. So this is just a normal empowerer. So note, the empowerer is 2 blocks from the display stands, and then you've got the 4 display stands, which all the display stands have to be powered, the empowerer doesn't. And what you need to do here is you need to take some of the crystallized canola and the canola seeds, which I recommended you made from the excess canola, and you do 4 canola seeds on the outside, 1 crystallized canola in the middle. This is then outputted below into this hopper, which then makes empowered canola, which is then transported into here, which is again has the same system, and then that picks up the empowered oil here, and then you can then burn the empowered oil in oil generators for 120 RF per tick for, and then this doesn't matter because we're making it automatically. So that gives us 120 RF per tick per oil generator, and that's the entire system. And so this system does produce excess. As I said, it's excess canola, but this one does produce, I could go quite far with these oil generators if I wanted to. You can see these are all full and burning at quite a slow rate. So it's a very efficient system, but if you're looking to automate the crystallized canola using actually additions, this is how it's done. Thank you guys for watching. Like, subscribe, hit the bell, and hit the bell to be notified in the next video. Adios.